Team Paladin on Team Red. And Team Red, we got ourselves Calf, we got ourselves Cripper, Z, and Meritas. Now, let's go back to that rule. Only two of each class, boys. Let's go do this rule right now, because I'm seeing 4 Paladins. I don't know if I like it. Let's do 2 of each class. If I see more than 3, I'm just gonna skip that group and go for the next one. We also got us as Olive's Panda. Ooh, I like that helm. We got Olive here. Got that interesting mog with his shoulders. That's Mr. Pandaria. That helm is Legion. The chest tabard is Pandaria. Like pieces from a bunch of expansions, it looks like. This guy got a really interesting look to him. I like that massive holy aura around him. On Team Blue, we got ourselves Captain One Shot. We got Kreiser in the back somewhere in the middle of Captain One Shot. Female God X, Tasty the Shaman, and Monspur? It's almost Monster, but not quite. Not quite. Looks like it's gonna be Female God X versus Crippers off first into Alexi, but the Crippers immediately with images to follow. That's not gonna be a trick out of Crippers with a Shield of Vengeance to follow, trying to see if he can get that shield to pop back at the Monk, because the Monk is actually gonna pre-tank this up a little bit. It looks like Assassination takes even a hammer of damage, even just a modicum of damage. It's actually gonna back up, letting that, hoping that shield pops from a distance. The images are gonna get to pop that shield. Crippers popping in wings, but not really getting melee with Female God X. Almost getting a big kill. Bob coming out immediately, hoping to end him in a single combat. Female God X got almost no defenses. Is going to get a board up. Crippers needs to reconnect. Could end this duel right now. Almost has him. And down goes Female God X. Crippers with that amazing Paladin burst damage. Like as if it's nothing for him. Just take this Monk down a peg. Captain One Shot is going to be up next. By the looks of it, it is an Assassination rogue. Opening up with a Kidney Shot. Rogue Crippers is going to trinket out of that Kidney Shot immediately. Trying to get the damage rolling. Forcing out evasion out of Captain One Shot. Could be a trinket out of him too. As he continues just to slam damage back into Captain. Blind to fall. Crippers could bubble it if he wanted to. He did just trinket. Could have maybe saved the trinket for this blind. But that's going to allow the rogue that reset he needed. Even got himself a Crucible to follow as well. So he should be in a good spot. Crippers needs to find a way to get himself another set of wings. Needs to get a trinket out of this rogue as well. By coming out of Captain Watching Crippers. Popping a bubble a little bit late though. I don't think he really needed to pop a bubble there. But there was a bubble after the bike, honestly. Maybe Captain was hoping the bike would get a massive crit and Crippers would be about half his health and then kind of one-shot him. I don't really know if the bike can do that, but already has a Kidney Shot available and ready. Crippers needs to buy his time, needs to wait until the next time wings and a Hodge, because I think it's going to give him the opportunity to go for. Captain One Shot actually chooses to trick it out of the wings. Maybe Shadow Step does get a juke away from Crippers. Crippers trying to see if he can catch up, get some big damage into Captain, and Captain looks like he's going to be able to get the hell out of there. Poison Knife coming out there with that crippling poison, slowing Crippers down. That's going to be only a minute-long wings, not real wings. If Crippers can get himself another Hammer of Justice, Captain One Shot has nothing for it. It's going to reopen up, harassing this Paladin, just opening it back up on him over and over. Crippers, it's really going to be up to you. When are you going to use your wings? He's trying to save off this damage a little bit with the Shield of Vengeance. Might be able to get that shield to pop next to Captain One Shot, which would put the rogue at a lower health. Trying to get his wings up and running before the shield pops, and Captain One Shot has continued to hammer damage into the Shield of Vengeance. Trying to get the shield to pop next to him, hodging him. Looks like he actually was too far away from the shield, but still might have the damage to one-shot Captain One Shot with a big old execute at the end. Has the Reaping Flames to continue the damage forward. But Kreiser, I think, is going to stop his rampage. So far, this Paladin has been smiting these boys from the face of the earth. And I think it's only Kreiser, the only man we can believe in, that might be able to take this Paladin down a peg with the big wings damage. Cooper's coming in with a big burst. And Kreiser might be able to really throw around that chaos damage to counteract the massive, absurd nuking potential that Crippers got while wings are up and running. It's going to be Kreiser with his 2-minute nuke versus Crippers and his 2-minute nuke. But Kreiser got extra crowd control for himself to work for as well. He got the Succubus to stop Crippers from every opener. Crippers really just essentially used to have the biggest one-shot into Kreiser. And that's about all he could really do. Kreiser just has so much CC though. Creepers doesn't have bubble, doesn't have bop. 2 minutes on that. Shield of Vengeance almost available. It's gonna be a Hodge to Chrysler immediately. Popping in wings in the open and trying to get as much damage as possible. That's gonna be Execute set us onto Chrysler. Not going for a succubus CC, but that's gonna be an Infernal to drop down right after. Chrysler set himself up a big setup. Backing up for the gateway, but looks like Creepers is gonna back up behind the pillar, try to get away from the massive elemental, the massive fell giant that's following him after. Safeguard Trinket proc, and he's not really feeling all that good. Doesn't have a lot of defenses to work with. Does go for a stun and all the pets with a Wake of Ashes. That's gonna be another conflict raid by Chrysler. I think it's gonna be down for Creepers. Just like that, gets taken out, had so much damage, so much potential, but the massive Chaos Bolts out of Chrysler is enough to shut down a Paladin. Creepers just did not have the defensive potential. Didn't even have Shield of Vengeance to keep himself afloat. Z is going to be up next, and Chrysler, if he can just really pressure Z from a distance, the earlier he could pressure him, the more he can keep Z at bay, the better. Because if Z can get in, goes the gap, pop bubble, wings, and then hammer as much damage into Chrysler while immune, that's going to be really where like the tides are going to change. But for now, Chrysler should have a really good position. Try to min-max the rage. As Z just does not want to approach, not a lot of cover between this ramp here and where Chrysler is sitting. I mean, this is a perfect position for Chrysler. There's no way that Z can really approach him. That's going to create line of sight. I mean, he can kind of close the gap here and there, but now he's just going to be out in the open. Chrysler has the pure opportunity just to get some big damage into Z. That's going to be Chaos Bolt into a succubus CC as Z choosing to Trinket. That on while Chrysler is on the stun, Wings coming out, and Chrysler is actually just going to gateway out of there. Perfect position for him just to have even more control. Into a Chaos Bolt, breaking through a Shield of Vengeance, just has so much control, and Drain left to follow. Z could maybe somehow find a way back up. I think he's actually just out of options completely. Did he just try to cleanse himself? Not really sure what you could really cleanse off of Chrysler. No poisons or diseases to this man. I mean, he's as annoying as like a crippling poison with all this Conflaxa, but it's not quite something you can actually deal with. 5 minutes in, boys, we are heading into that dampening. It's really going to be up to Chrysler, who should be getting some cooldowns back up right now. Z did just pop a few things. That's going to be Trinket down. Bubble still available if he needs to. Try to close the gap onto Chrysler, but again, just out in the open where there's no line of sight. Cannot close the gap without Chrysler being able to do something about it. Come flags, succubus CCs, everything, because Chrysler got himself some cooldowns rolling. Now he wants to go for big damage. Z is going to be surrounded by that Infernal. Hodge onto Chrysler. Trinkets out of it. Z could take a lot of damage. Might want to bubble hero. That's going to be Death Coil. Doesn't want to bubble this just yet. Getting quite low in health. Might actually want to bubble right now. Trying to go for a bit of heal. Flashlight coming out, but that Infernal is still doing quite a bit of damage as dampening only 8%. Z still needs to maintain the only healing as possible. They're actually just melting down to the dots. That Infernal has a Malation aura radiating from him. If Chrysler could just catch a couple of come flags that crit, Z could be down for the count. The Infernal does dissipate, and Chrysler is still in a massive advantage. It looks like one of these guys running stars. If it's Chrysler, those stars going to slam down on Z out of nowhere. Bubble coming down for Z. Did not want to worry about the damage that might or might not kill him, but doesn't have the offensive damage to follow. No, he does get a min along wings, trying to do as much as he can to Chrysler. Super low in health. Succubus CC to stop him. Just didn't really have enough ramp up. Used to get that executed sentence, but looks like the only one getting executed is Z with that stun and immolate after. I don't know if he's going to even be able to survive the damage. Chrysler sniping him out, snapping his fingers, and yet another Paladin falls. Meritus is the third Paladin. Is he going to be the third to actually take down Chrysler, or is he going to be down for the count? That twisted up and just melting this man. He hasn't killed it. Is actually going to pop shit. What is he backing up for? He got himself Shield of Vengeance that is going to be popping onto Chrysler, but it is going to be a split between Chrysler and the pet. Fear coming out after that Trinket from Meritus with a double Chaos Bolt to follow. 2 Chaos Bolts actually do connect Mary. Trying to go for as much healing as possible. Got himself mobility, but no hand for him. Into a bubble. Chrysler has gateway to get out of there. That's going to be Mary having to go the long way around. If Chrysler has anything left for Mary right after, this is going to be it, man. He just needs to keep him out in the open. Mary just might want to push up a little bit too early here. He should buy himself as much time as possible. It looks like he is going to be backing up a little bit. This man has quite a bit of corruption. Hopefully he doesn't have a thing from beyond just randomly assaulting them though. But Chrysler has such a massive lead. Actually dipping down where Murray's at before he can get behind the pillar into a succubus CC. And it's like he might be able to take him down with a Shot of Fury. Does he get the stun with a Shot of Fury? If he does, oh, he doesn't quite. Oh yeah, he does. No line of sight actually. It looked like he had line of sight for a second. But I guess maybe the cast was a little bit late. Hodge to Chrysler. He has nothing. Mary going for big damage. Isn't going to be able to do anything at all. Trying as best as they can. Chrysler barely took damage from a full set of wings and a 4th Paladin. With Cav being the 4th man out. There's Chrysler burned. Did Chrysler burn all his cooldowns just yet? Big Chaos Bolts is Infernal coming down against this Paladin. No gateway for a little bit. Doesn't even have Death Cold at this point. That's going to be Death Cold. Does pop the Chill of Venus at a distance. That's going to be Fear to try to keep Cav at bay. Trying to spam Fear at him with a Chaos Bolt. Double Chaos Bolt to follow. That could be huge damage. Bubble it before he takes the big damage. Chrysler still is going to have the empowered Chaos Bolts either way, so that could be huge damage right after. If he sends the Chaos Bolt as soon as Bubble goes down, if he even has the resources for it, he still should be able to do a lot before the Infernal dissipates. Does Chrysler get the line of sight? Because that next Chaos Bolt could just chunk him down to half health. Line of sight is not there. Looks like Chrysler is the one playing with stars, maybe. Maybe not the strongest stars? Because he doesn't run that appendage, and I think did quite a bit of damage. Maybe Chrysler got himself like a really minor stars. Unless it's all the Paladins with stars, because I just can't tell. It could be on the pet, it could be in the Paladin. I can't tell the difference. I wish we somehow knew. He's coming out for Cav, but he's getting CC'd before the opener. It's a sucker CC, no bubble to deal with Chrysler. He's just waddling back and forth into a Shadow Fury Cataclysm, probably a Chaos Bolt wombo combo. After maybe a Conflag, yep, roots him again. Cav has Blessing of Protection. That's really about it. Stunning the Chaos Bolt that might have entered him right now. Trying to get himself more damage. That's going to be a full set of wings into a Death Cold to run in the other direction. Might want to line his side of this Chaos Bolt, one Chaos Bolt into the second one. Cav might be done. Does get himself a small heal for a second. Does he have anything left? And Chrysler taking down all 4 Paladins. Back with the last one left. The Alvin Sparrow. And Chrysler has been decimating this Paladins over and over. Even somebody on his team that didn't get to play besides the Rogue. Wait, was it actually the Rogue played? And then a guy before that? Or maybe both of those guys are the ones on the left. Breath onto Chrysler with a ring. Does not connect onto Chrysler. He might be able to line this side. Olaf's actually going for big damage with Combustion. Conflag by Chrysler. That's going to be Meteor down. Does get interrupted on Fear. Chrysler does not reflect for this burst damage. But is still keeping himself alive. Actually line deciding himself over all more than half the time. At 10 minutes in, 32% dampening. Needs to make the biggest play right now. Needs to get those greater pyros in there. Needs to find a way to CC Chrysler as well as the pet. That was a combustion though. That was a big, all-in, easy, instant cast. It's going to be a temporal against the Chaos Bolt. Does have Chrysler on the ropes right now. It is burning down little by little. He doesn't really have a lot of way to heal against the mage. So it actually could be pretty bad for Chrysler. Olaf does have himself more Fire Blast happening, just trying to catch Fire Blast and Pyro Blast onto Chrysler. Whatever damage he can and just letting it happen with whatever procs he's got. That's going to be Infernal down onto Olaf. Does Chrysler have anything there? That's going to be a wall with Chaos Bolts. It's going to be a free Chaos Bolts onto Olaf. He does save him with a breath, trying to get some damage in. Get interrupted on fire. That's going to be Ring of Frost. Does stop the pet. Olaf could maybe go and do some damage to Chrysler right now. Fire Blast into Pyro Blast back to back. He's actually dipping low on his own. It's not so happening. But Chrysler is also dipping low. Needs to get a Death Goal onto Olaf. Both of them are just trying to burn each other down, dude. Simulates versus Mastery, but Fire Mage. Actually, Iceblock coming down as the Infernal is just doing all the work by himself. Just melting all of it. That classic is just not going to be good enough into a breath onto that pet. Instant cast coming out for both of them. Death Call onto all. Fear to Fall. Chrysler might be able to get big setup into Chaos Bolt right now. Immolate right after, and that's going to be down for the count. A big old 1v5 with a Paladin Slayer himself, dude. Woo! Goddamn, boys! That was a good first one. That's the first duel of the day. Can anyone top that? Can anybody top that, boys? Big Destro play. Huge Destro.